All right, so today we're going to really dig into chapter 39,
Oh, yeah.
where the author shares like this deeply personal story about, healing and kind of this big spiritual awakening.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing, actually, because he ends up uncovering this huge truth about herself.
Interesting. So, what kind of stuff can we expect? Like, give us a little preview.
Well, we're going to be talking about a near-death experience,
Wow.
a super intense connection with a spiritual teacher,
Yeah.
and ultimately, like, uncovering some hidden truths about, who she really is, her
That would be
existence.
intrigued already.
Right. It's a powerful chapter.
So what's the mission here? What are we hoping to get out of this deep dive?
I think, for me, it's about understanding her journey, this path of self-discovery,
Mm-hmm.
but also exploring her ideas about angels, about spirituality, and ultimately, like, seeing if we can extract some wisdom from her experience, something we can all apply to our own lives.
I like it. I like it. So it sounds like this chapter is about more than just like overcoming adversity. It's about this deeper understanding of like who she is at her core.
Yeah, exactly. And it all starts with this intense experience when she was only 16 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's dealing with meningitis, sepsis, even Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome.
Wow. That's serious stuff.
Yeah, really heavy stuff. We're talking skin grafts, muscle loss, physical limitations.
It's hard to even imagine going through all that, especially at such a young age.
And on top of all of that, for 20 years, she's dealing with ITP.
ITP.
Yeah, it's a blood disorder
Okay.
that causes her platelet levels to, like, just crash, sending her to the hospital, like, every year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you can imagine, I mean, just the physical challenges alone would be enough to make someone really search for meaning, for answers.
It's like she's driven to understand not just, what happened, but like the why behind it all.
Yeah, and it leads her to this pivotal moment, I mean, a real turning point in the chapter, where she meets her earth angel.
Earth angel.
Yeah, this is how she describes this spiritual teacher who really transforms her whole life.
Okay, I'm curious.
But the way she talks about this encounter, it's fascinating.
How so?
Well, she describes feeling almost overwhelmed physically. Like, she uses this phrase, spiritually drunk.
Whoa.
Right. She talks about receiving divine messages, having all her senses just heightened.
That's intense. So maybe we should like back up for a second and
Well-
just define what she means by earth angel. I'm getting the sense that she's not talking about, wings and halos.
Right. No, not the traditional image. Yeah.
So based on what you've read, what's her definition?
Well, it seems like she's referring to a person who lives what appears to be like, an ordinary life on the surface,
Okay.
but who has this really deep spiritual connection and the ability to guide others on their paths.
Like a mentor almost.
Yeah, exactly. A spiritual mentor.
And what's really interesting is that she mentions her mother actually orchestrated this meeting with the earth angel.
I know, right?
It's like almost fated, like it was meant to be.
Totally. Like it was always supposed to happen.
Exactly. Destiny. So how does this encounter change things for her?
Well, she starts going through what she calls a vibrational transformation.
Vibrational transformation? What does that even mean?
It's a great question. Basically, she describes it as this process that takes like 3.5 years.
Whoa, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's intense. And it's basically her body aligning with a higher frequency.
So when she says vibration, she's talking about energy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's this idea that all beings have this energy. And the transformation is about raising that energy like to a more spiritually attuned level.
So like raising her consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. And she ties it back to something she mentioned earlier about like her soul guiding her physical being.
Oh, interesting.
It's almost like her soul was always leading her toward this transformation. And the earth angel was like the catalyst she needed to kickstart it.
There's a quote here that really stood out to me. Being seen as a light being kickstarted my body's vibrational transformation to ascend. It's like being seen, truly seen by someone who recognized her spiritual essence was what allowed her to, really step into this transformation.
I love that quote.
It's powerful.
It's so powerful. It speaks to like the importance of feeling understood, of being seen for who we truly are.
And this is where the idea of love really comes into play. I mean, she keeps talking about the love and acceptance she received from her earth angel.
Right.
And it seems like that love was super instrumental in her healing and growth. It created the safe space for her to really explore her spirituality.
It's like that love gave her the foundation she needed to really open up.
Exactly, to embrace her true self.
Yeah. And she contrasts this newfound sense of connection with an earlier feeling she describes.
What's that?
She talks about feeling like she was floating over life.
Floating over life.
Yeah, like disconnected, you
A
know?
lot of people can probably relate to that feeling.
I think so. Like that sense of searching for something more, a deeper sense of belonging, of love.
And it sounds like her journey was all about finding that connection.
Exactly. And not just connection with another person,
Right.
but like connection with herself, with her true essence.
And that's where things start to get really, really interesting because she starts talking about this spirit collective that accompanied her on this journey.
Okay, yeah, the spirit collective.
Now, I know this might sound a little out there for some people,
Yeah.
but essentially she's describing like this group of spiritual beings acting as guides and supporters.
So like a spiritual support system.
Yeah, like a team of cheerleaders for her soul.
I love that analogy.
It really captures that sense of, we're not alone in this, that
Mm.
there are forces beyond what we can see or understand that are helping us along the way.
It's a comforting thought in a way, isn't it?
It is. It is. And she talks about eventually learning to recognize these spirits, like sensing their unique energetic signatures.
It's pretty wild when you think about it.
It is. It is. It all ties back to this idea that we're all made up of energy, and that energy can be perceived and interpreted in different ways.
It makes you wonder what else we're capable of sensing,
Oh.
what other possibilities are out there that we're just not tuned into.
Exactly. There's so much that we don't know, so much that we haven't even begun to explore.
So she's going through this massive transformation guided by the Earth Angel and this spirit collective, but she's also like wrestling with her past,
What
right?
do you mean?
Well, she keeps coming back to these questions like, why didn't home ever feel like home? Why did her light dim? It's like she's trying to understand why she felt so disconnected for so long.
Right, why she couldn't access that universal energy she was sensing.
Yeah, exactly. And she talks about the importance of reclaiming her space, setting intentions, finding peace within her heart.
It's like she's trying to understand why she felt so lost for so long.
Exactly. And it all seems to be tied to this deep desire to connect with her true self, to embody her full potential.
It's about coming home to herself, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally as well.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it leads to this really profound realization for her.
Oh, what is it?
She discovers that after her near-death experience as a teenager, her soul's energy was actually too high to be fully embodied.
Wait, what? So her soul was trying to connect, but her body wasn't ready.
Yeah, it sounds strange, but that's how she describes it.
That's fascinating.
She's basically saying that her spiritual essence was so powerful that her physical body couldn't quite contain it after all the trauma of her illness.
It's like her soul was trying to merge with her physical form, but the two weren't quite aligned yet.
Yeah, it's like this energetic imbalance that she's struggling with.
And then she explains how the love from her earth angel helped her overcome the fear associated with this instability.
Right. It's amazing how love keeps coming up as this, like, healing force for her.
It's really beautiful, actually. The love she received created this safe space for her to fully embody her soul's energy, to bridge the gap between her spiritual and physical selves.
And through that process of healing and integration, she starts to discover her own spiritual gifts, right?
Absolutely, it's a turning point in her journey. She's moving from a place of feeling lost and disconnected to a place of empowerment and self-discovery.
So she's finally starting to embrace who she truly is. And it all leads to this pretty amazing realization.
Well, we'll have to dive into that revelation in the next part of our deep dive. She realizes that she, too, is an earth angel,
Whoa, hold on.
embodying that same light and spiritual connection that she saw in her teacher.
Wow, so it's like the student becomes the teacher.
Exactly. It's like her whole journey led her to this moment of self-discovery.
It's pretty powerful when you think about it. I mean, remember all those medical challenges she faced at 16? The meningitis, the sepsis, even Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome.
It's almost as if those trials were setting the stage for this, for her spiritual awakening.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. It's like those early experiences, as tough as they were kind of pushing her towards this path of healing.
And self-discovery, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It speaks to the idea that sometimes our biggest challenges, they can actually lead us to our greatest triumphs.
Like that.
By confronting her pain and her adversity, she was able to unlock this deeper level of understanding about herself and where she fits in the world.
It's true. And she describes it as this complete shift in self-perception.
Yeah.
Going from battling illness and feeling disconnected to embracing this new identity as being of light.
and purpose.
and purpose. It's pretty amazing.
This transformation really highlights, I think, the power of self-acceptance and recognizing that, there's something divine within ourselves.
It's about letting go of those old limiting beliefs and stepping into, like, our true potential, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And she keeps emphasizing how love played such a key role in all of this. The love she received from her earth angel, she says it helped raise her body's vibration, allowing her to really embody her soul's energy.
Again, it reinforces that idea that love is this powerful force for healing and growth.
It creates that safe space, that foundation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That allows us to explore our vulnerabilities and embrace who we really are.
So it wasn't just about understanding her spiritual nature.
It was about embodying it, living it, sharing it with the world.
Right, and that's where her discovery of her own spiritual gifts comes in. Remember those grounding techniques she was talking about?
Yeah, it seems like they allowed her to tap into her unique abilities, to connect with her soul's purpose.
It makes you wonder, do you think we all have those spiritual gifts just waiting to be discovered?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? She seems to suggest that each of us has something unique to offer, like a light within us waiting to be shared.
I love that.
And maybe these gifts are just different expressions of our true selves,
Hmm.
our passions, talents, those innate abilities we all have.
So it's not necessarily about having like supernatural powers or anything like that.
No, not really. It's more about tapping into our authentic selves and using our strengths to make a positive impact.
And for her, realizing that she was an earth angel seems to have given her this renewed sense of purpose,
Yeah.
like a clear direction in her life.
Absolutely. It's like all the pieces finally clicked into place.
It's easy to get caught up in the more extraordinary elements of her story, like the spirit collective and the vibrational transformations.
Right.
But I think there's a really important takeaway here for everyone, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are.
Oh, I totally agree. At its core, this chapter is about resilience, about the incredible power of the human spirit to overcome adversity.
And to find meaning in our experiences, even the painful ones.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we all have the capacity to heal, to grow, to transform, even when we're faced with incredible challenges.
It's inspiring, really. And it highlights the importance of connection of love in that journey.
We're not meant to go through life alone, that's for sure. Having people who support us, who truly see us for who we are,
And make all the difference.
it really does. So, as we start wrapping up our deep dive into this chapter, what are some key things we can take away and apply to our own lives?
Well, first and foremost, I think she encourages us to embrace our challenges as opportunities for growth.
Instead of seeing difficult experiences as setbacks, we can reframe them as like catalysts for transformation.
Yeah, that's a powerful perspective shift. Instead of asking, why me, we can ask, what can I learn from this?
Exactly. And secondly, I think she highlights the importance of finding connection and support.
Seeking it out.
Yeah, whether it's through a spiritual teacher, a therapist, a good friend, family member, having someone there to guide us and hold space for us as we heal,
It's so valuable.
it's crucial. It's about recognizing that we don't have to go through it alone.
We can lean on each other.
Exactly. And third, I think this whole journey really emphasizes the power of self-love and acceptance.
Yes, loving ourselves, embracing our imperfections.
Celebrating our unique gifts.
It's about recognizing that spark within each of us.
And allowing that light to shine through.
So well said. So as we move forward, let's keep these lessons in mind.
Let's do it.
Let's approach our challenges with courage and a willingness to learn from them. Let's seek out connection and support when we need it.
And most importantly, let's embrace who we are, those incredible, unique beings that we all are. This chapter really invites us to consider, what if we all have the potential to be earth angels, to be those beacons of love and light out in the world?
It's a beautiful thought, isn't it? That we all have this capacity to heal ourselves and each other through love and compassion.
The author's story is a testament to that.
It is. Remember how she described feeling like she was floating above life, disconnected, searching for something more? She wanted that deeper connection, that love, a sense of belonging.
And that feeling, it's something so many of us can relate to, that feeling of searching for something that feels just out of reach.
But her journey shows us that what we're searching for is often already there, within us.
It's about tapping into that inner light, that divine spark that connects us all.
And recognizing that we have the power to create the life we want, a life that's full of love, purpose, and meaning.
Her journey reminds us that transformation is a process.
And it often starts with facing our fears and embracing those vulnerable parts of ourselves.
Opening ourselves up to the possibility of something greater.
It's about having the courage to really look within and discover who we truly are.
And maybe, just maybe, in doing so, we'll uncover the angel inside each of us. It's like by letting ourselves be loved, we actually make it possible for that spiritual awakening to happen, for real transformation.
Yeah, that makes sense. This chapter is a powerful reminder, isn't it? That healing, real transformation, it is possible, even when you've gone through so much.
Even when you think about everything she went through.
Exactly, especially when you think about it. She had meningitis, sepsis, Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome, all at 16.
And then the physical limitations on top of that.
Right, and then years of battling ITP, constantly going back to the hospital.
It's amazing how she was able to use that experience, though, to fuel her spiritual growth.
It really is. It makes you think.
It does.
What if our biggest challenges, those things we want to avoid, they could actually become our greatest teachers?
I mean, that's a powerful idea.
It is. By really facing our pain, that adversity, maybe we unlock something inside ourselves.
A hidden strength, a resilience.
Exactly.
So where do we go from here? What can we take away from all this?
Well, I think the author is really pushing us to consider something.
What's that?
That maybe angels aren't these distant beings, off in some other realm.
Okay.
What if they're within each of us?
Yeah.
Maybe we all have that potential to be earth angels, to bring that love and light to the world.
It's a beautiful idea that we all have this capacity to heal ourselves and each other.
Through love, compassion, connection.
Her story really proves it's possible.
It does. So what can we do today, even something small, to bring that love and light to others? How can we help each other heal?
I think it starts with simple things. A kind word, offering help, really listening to someone.
Those little gestures.
Yeah, they can make a huge difference.
Showing up for each other, with compassion, trying to understand.
Exactly. We don't need some grand gesture, a big ritual.
Sometimes it's those simple acts of love and kindness that are the most powerful.
Her whole journey is full of moments like that, these little encounters that led to this huge transformation.
It gives you hope.
It does.
That even when things feel dark, there's always hope. And sometimes, that hope comes in the form of a chance meeting, an encounter that changes everything.
Like with the Earth Angel, right?
Yeah, and remember how her mother helped arrange that meeting? It's like it was meant to be.
Like fate stepped in.
Totally. Makes you think about those mornings in our own lives, those experiences that shake us up, make us question everything.
The big questions about life and death, why we're here.
What if those challenges, the things we want to run from, what if they're actually meant to wake us up?
To help us see things in a new way.
To let go of old beliefs.
Become who we're really meant to be.
It's a powerful thought that even those hard times can help us grow, help us transform.
Her journey shows us that's true. She didn't let her past hold her back. She used it to move forward, find deeper meaning.
And in doing that, she discovered something amazing.
What's that?
Her own inner angel.
That's the real message here, isn't it? We all have that potential for greatness inside us.
You all have that spark of the divine.
It's up to us to nurture it, let our light shine, and share it with the world.
So let's carry that inspiration with us. Be mindful of those little acts of love and kindness.
Knowing that even the smallest gestures can create a ripple effect.
We're all on a journey.
With its ups and downs.
Challenges and triumphs. But remember,
we're never truly alone.
We're all connected. And each of us
has the potential to be an angel.
in a world that needs it.